this rainy weather that we've got. So I would imagine that everybody today will probably be indoors because it's wet and rainy outside. So yeah, it's important that you're on a dry surface. So obviously not a good idea to be skating outside when it's raining. It's very slippy, and probably even more so than the ice, believe it or not. So you need to make sure you're safe. So obviously if everybody's indoors today, which I thought you probably all would be, you've just got to make sure that you probably haven't got the room that you've got outside. So you need to make sure that you're safe. Just remember as well some of the exercises. You might have to tighten it up a little bit and maybe not do so many glides into things, etc. Okay, so we're still going to start off with a warm-up. So remember, it's really important. Remember when you get your skates on to think about your safety gear, so your wrist guards, your elbow pads, your helmets, because we're on a hard surface and it does hurt when you fall over. Right, so we'll start to get warmed up. So we're going to do our exercises with our feet, so the nice and supple when we put our skates on. So you're just going to do your forward and back, so your flexors with your feet. So we'll do 5 on each, 4 and 5, and then feet back together. Remember, you can hold on to something. If you're a little bit unsteady, you can have a nice sturdy chair or your frame, or you can hold on to the wall or the side. Okay, so you're doing your flexes, well done. So now we're going to do your circles with your toes, so big circles. So we'll do 5 on each, 2, 3, 4, 5. Feet back together, get your balance, and then 2, 3, 4, 5. Fabulous. So what we're going to do now, we're going to do the calf stretch. So remember, you want your hips and your shoulders square facing forward. You're going to keep your toes facing forward, so you just literally stretch forward. So you're going to bend that front knee, push your hips forward, and remember, feel that gentle stretch down the back of your calf, and we'll hold it 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then we'll swap over. So again, if you need to hold on to something, a chair or a wall, or if you've got somebody with you, you can hold on to their hand. And again, squeeze that bottom, push those hips forward, and feel that gentle stretch down the back of that calf, because remember, we use your calves a lot in skating, so it's really, really important. Okay, and feet back together. All right, so this exercise we're going to do next, remember this one is on the levels. It's the one where we skate along onto 2 feet, or you can just stand in your skate. You're going to bend your knees, and you're going to rotate to the right. We're going to hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then back to the front. Nice and steady. Have a little deep breath in between if you feel like you can't go both ways. Sometimes it can make you a little bit dizzy and off balance. So twist and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back to the front. So again, when you do that, especially when we get our skates on, just make sure you don't do it too quickly, because just turning your head from one side to the other can make you feel quite unsteady and quite unbalanced. Okay, so what we're going to do then now, we're just going to do hips side to side. So pushing those hips, that's it. So push it out as far as you can. We'll do 5. That's it, brilliant. And then we're going to do rotations. So we'll do 5 of those as well. That's it. And then the other way, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Brilliant, well done. Okay, so we're just going to do our shoulders. So we're lifting up and down and up. So as far up to your ears and then push them down. So up to your ears and then push them down and up and down and up and down. One more. And then we're going to do the shoulder rotations. So we'll do 5 of those. And 5 forward, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we're just going to do our head, because remember we do a lot of turning. So we're just going to do chin onto your chest first, and then push it back, and then press your chin right down, and then right back. Don't do this too quickly. And as I say, if you're in your wheelchair, you can do this as sat in your chair, if you're able. Again, you can lose your balance when you're doing this, so if you need to hold on to somebody or a chair or wall, that's absolutely fine. So we're going to turn to the side and back, and side and back, and side and back, and side and back. And then if you're able, we'll do the rolling one. So 2, 3, 4, 5. Good, gives yourselves a little shake. So hopefully you warmed up. Again, it is quite warm still, even though it's raining and quite yucky outside here. Nicely warmed up. So if you want to go and get your skates on, so get your safety equipment on as well. It's probably better to do that before you get your skates on. Okay, so we've done our warm up. Okay, we've talked about the surface that you're on. Make sure it's dry and clean. Remember, outside's not a good idea today because it's raining and it's yucky and wet, and that can be quite dangerous. Okay, so today we're going to be doing some skills from the levels 1 to 10 badge programme from inclusive skating. So remember, this is based on the Paralympic classes and they reflect the inclusive skating classifications. So you know, you can just go on the inclusive website, remember, to see all this information. So today we're going to obviously recap on some of the things that we've already done before. So we're going to do skill levels 1 to 10. I've added a couple of exercises and elements from some of the other levels as well. So remember as well, once you've completed your levels 1 to 10, you can go into the free skating, balance and frame on harness levels 1 or level 1 activities. But just remember to always choose the level that's suitable for your ability. So remember, there's those 3 different tiers or 3 different programs on the inclusive website. And also remember that you can enter to take tests or skills and badges, and you can do this on the inclusive website as well. Okay, this is open to all members of the inclusive skating site. So and it's available for children, adults, so all ages, and remember, all abilities, which is really important. So it doesn't matter how old you are, everybody can have a go, and you can take those tests and skill levels via video through inclusive skating if you are one of their members. So it's a really good programme, and there's something for everybody. So what I'm going to do, I've put my skates on, sat in my chair. So remember, when you get up, your wheels will move straight away. It's a really good idea to put that stopper down, so you're nicely balanced, okay? Because as I say, as soon as you stand up, your feet will go from underneath you. All right, so if you've got your helmet on, I can see Juliana there's got one of the, what I think they're called angel headbands, which are really good because they're padded, and you can use one of those instead of a helmet, so that's really good. Okay, so what we're going to do then, just remind you that standing still, hockey stance, I keep saying hockey stance is this one, penguin stance. So that's just keeping your feet nice and still, so just stops you from sliding around and moving around. It's just a nice secure position to go with. Okay, so again, remember to choose what programme reflects your ability. We're going to go over some of the really basic things as well, just to remind you that there's always something when we're doing some of the higher levels, that there's always something that's available for everybody. So I'm going to start right back here. So I'm going to start in my penguin stance. So remember, you can do your penguin walking, okay, if you need to. Or you can do your glide and on 2 feet, so you're pushing 1 foot forward and on 2 feet, and 1 foot forward. Okay, you can also do your forward stroking now if you feel a bit more confident. Okay, as I say, I'm sure everybody's a little bit more limited to space today, because we're all indoors. So just be careful. Make sure you give yourself plenty of distance to stop. If you can't do one of the stops, the snowplow or the T-stop, remember just to glide on 2 feet until you come to a standstill. But remember not to leave that too late, okay? So we'll just keep going with this forward skating. So again, you can do your walking, or you can do your stroking, or you can just do the glide on 1 foot, feet together and glide. Glide on the other foot, feet together and glide. Okay? So either is fine. Okay? Remember when you push off, okay, you're going to tilt onto the inside of your foot, so slightly onto the inside of the wheels. Okay? The harder and more pressure you put on that foot, the further you'll go. So again, try to judge that with the room that you've got available. Okay, 2 feet and step around. Remember, if you're going to do not do the stop, and then you're going to do the glide on 2 feet and the step around, just make sure that you come to that total standstill, glide on 2 feet before you start to step around. Otherwise, you might lose your balance. Okay. Right, so we're just going to do, so this exercise is on program 1, so it's on badge 10, so that's the forward skating that we've just done, okay, from across the ice, the floor or ice, when we're on ice. So what we're going to do now, we're just going to have a little go at a knee dip. Okay, so if you stand in your penguin stance, tummy up nice and straight, arms in that V, so that's it. So press your hands down, so good balance. Just bend those knees. Okay, you can do this holding on to something and keep your feet straight. Okay, but it's better to hold on because you will roll. Okay, so if you just do it in your penguin stance, it's much easier just to do the knee dip and bend. And as I say, that one's on program 2. And the marching forwards on program 2, and you can do that by yourself, holding on to somebody's hand, or you can do that with your frame or anything. You can do that holding on, and that one's fine. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do just the knee bend. So this is just like a little bit of warming up as well. We did this last week, and we did this with our shoes on. So we're just going to bend. Again, I'm going to do it in my penguin stance because it's much easier to keep my wheels nice and still. I'm going to rotate one way and hold. And then I'm going to come back nice and steady, get my balance, and then I'm going to go back the other way. So remember, if you don't want to do that not holding on, all right, you can do that in your penguin stance. If you want to hold on to something, you can keep your feet nice and still. Okay, so that's a good one. So what we're going to have a go at then, we're just going to have a quick we're going to just recap over the stops. Remember, there's 2 stops. There's a snowplow stop and a T-stop. You can do half a snowplow as well. So you can just use 1 foot rather than 2. So we'll have a go at all 3 stops today. What I have found with a lot of my skaters that have got these skates, actually find the T-stop easier on wheels than it, on the ice they'd rather do snowplow, but on wheels they'd rather do the T-stop. So we'll have a go at all of them. So we will do snowplow first. So remember, you've got your penguin stance start. So you're going to push off on 2 feet, and you can do your forward stroke. We're going to bend our knees, and then you're going to push your heels out and your toes together. So remember, you won't glide like you do on the ice. Okay, you will, so it's almost like a swizzle, so glide together, feet apart slightly, bend your knees, and then push your toes in. Okay, again, give yourself lots of room so you're not going to bump into anything. Okay, we'll try that one once more. So I'm skating along, I'm going to glide on 2 feet forward, get my balance, bend my knees, and then push my heels out and stop. Okay, so that's the 2-foot snowplow. So if you want to have a go at the 1 foot, it's pretty much the same. So we do glide together, bend your knees, and what you're gonna do is you can put 1 foot forward. And what you do is you turn slightly to the side. You'll probably have one way that you feel better going than the other way. Okay, well done, Juliana. So glide together, bend your knees, and you can push 1 foot forward. That one's, again, I think that one's easier than 2 feet. And it's up to you on that one, whichever one you feel you're stronger. So if you want to go to the right, you can. If you want to go to the left, you can. Okay, so what we'll do now, we're going to just recap on the T-stop. Again, give yourself a little bit more, bit of room before you stop. Don't sort of wait until you get too close to the wall or something that's there. You don't want to crash, so you need to give yourself a little bit of room. So remember T-stop, so hold on. You still skate forward, you're going to do the 2-foot glide. Remember that's also on one of our levels. So you'll glide and just start to slow down, get your balance. You're then going to take your back foot off, put it onto the floor, and you're just going to pull those wheels up until you're straight. And your feet are literally, as it says, in the T position. Okay, so glide forward. That's it, doing whichever, bend your knees and stop. Okay, so try and keep your shoulders nice and level when you do that. So a lot of people, what they do, they turn the foot out and they drop and put all the weight on this back foot. So you need to keep whichever leg you, so if you're standing on your right one, keep your weight over the right foot as you bring the left foot behind. And if you do it on the left foot, you need your weight on that left foot off and in. If you don't feel confident to do that moving, remember, good idea is hold on to something, bend your knees, and you can practice just feeling this. Okay, so you still want your weight mainly on that front foot, and the back foot just literally nice and steady. So you're not putting any pressure on that back foot really. It's just the movement and the friction across the floor. It's going to bend, all my weight's on my left foot, and it's just nice and gently brought in, and then I can straighten up. Okay, here we go, you can see again, bend, turn, and stop. Okay, so those stops are really important. I've been watching some of your videos of you skating, and I've seen so many that have improved just, oh my goodness, like beyond belief. And this is only week 5 of our inclusive roller inline class. I'm just so proud of everybody because I've seen so many that have improved, and that's really, really good. I've also, this week, some of my own figure skaters, ice skaters, have had skates delivered, and they, even though I talked to them and said, look, you know, you need to go through all your basics, some of them have gone on to doing bigger jumps and you know, had little falls and things. So it's really important that you do go through all these basic levels and start to warm up. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we've done the rotating of the arms both ways with the upper body, and that one is on programme 2 and it's on badge 5, and the snowplow stop, that is also on badge 5 on programme 2 as well. But as I say, a lot of people are progressing really quickly, so I think it's really important that we recap on those stops most weeks. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're going to have a go at glide and dip. So this is also on programme 2. I think we did touch on this before, and again, if you feel like you can't do this moving, that's fine. You can hold on to something, yeah, and you can bend and you can dip and hold. Okay, so when you do this, we're going to link in together the forward stroking or the forward glide togethers. You're going to link in the 2-foot glide on 2 feet, standing upright, and then you're just going to slowly bend down. Now remember, we're indoors today, so and most of you are because of the rain. So remember, you're probably only going to get a couple of steps in before you can do your gliding dip, because you want to give yourself a bit of room. So you start as far back as you can in your penguin stance, and off you go. And then you can reach forward and you can do your dip. Okay, well done. So we go back, reach forward and dip. Okay, and it doesn't matter how far down you go. So just do, again, whatever your ability is. If you can just go so far, that's fine. We do that knee bend a lot. And if you just reach those arms forward and pull your chest and your chin forward as well, over your knees, it makes it much easier. So we'll give that another go. So remember, this one's on program 2, and you can see all this on the Inclusive website. So you need to keep your chin and your chest pulling forward as you go down and you do your dip. Okay, fantastic. I see some of you doing really well on that, well done. So that was brilliant. So what we're going to do now, okay, is there's a jump on program 2 as well, on level 8. Okay, so it's just a 2-foot jump. Eventually this leads into the bunny hop, remember? So again, you can hold onto a chair, hold onto somebody's hand, okay, and you can just practice bending. If you don't feel confident to do the jump, that's fine, hold on to something. You can do it standing still, and eventually you can do that moving. Just make sure, okay, with the inline skates, what you'll find is, if you go towards the back wheels, the back 2 wheels, I know some have not always got 4 wheels, but don't go towards the back wheels when you land, because you will go from underneath you. So when you do it, you need to make sure, okay, that you bend and you keep that top half of your body just slightly forward. It's much better when you do the 2-foot jump if you wait slightly forward than back. You don't want to go flying backwards. So again, forward skating bend, and then you're going to do the jump. Okay? And then remember to do skating in your 2-foot glide first before you bend and jump. And again, just keep that top half of that body slightly forward. You don't want to jump too high. Yeah, and bend your knees. It's really important that you bend those knees when you land. Okay? And that'll help you to keep your balance. Well done, Juliana. So again, eventually we'll do this in the bunny hop, which is on one of the levels further on. So that's your 2-foot jump, or beginner jump. So what we're going to do now, we're going to have a go at your 2-foot turns. So what we're going to do is you can, again, practice this holding on to something, like you can hold on to a wall or chair, and you can just practice bending those knees and turning those feet. Bending and turning. So remember, before we got our skates on, we did the bend and the twist, and then we did that earlier on the skates as well. Yeah, we did it where you can on 2 feet and you can twist and then face forward and twist. So when you're doing this 2-foot turn, we're going to break it all down, and eventually you'll do this on 1 foot, which then links into the 3 turn. So what we're going to do is skating forward on 2 feet, and you're going to rotate. Pull that shoulder back and turn. Again, just be careful, because you've probably not got an awful lot of room, so you're only going to be able to do a couple of steps. Then we're going to rotate and turn. So don't worry if you're not going too fast on this and you don't get too much of a glide backwards. So I'm on 2 feet, look, I rotate, I look over my shoulder behind, and then back again. So here I go again. So bend, I twist, look over my shoulder, and turn. When I do this in my skates, I just lift the back wheel slightly as I do the turn. So as I do the turn, I lift the heels a little bit, not too much, and then I turn and bend. Okay, just have to be careful because sometimes go too far forward, you'll hit that stopper and it feels like you won't go right forward, but it does feel like you're going to go forward. So give that another go, because again, this eventually will link into the 3 10. So we go forward, bending, and back, and then you can come back again. Okay, so here we go, twist, bend, here, and then you can go back to forwards. Okay, if you've not got the room, you can just do one way, so forward to backwards. And then what you can do is when you get to the other side, you can do the backward one. So you're looking over your shoulder and turning to forward. Okay? So again, that's a good one to practice, to go from your forward skating into your backward skating. Okay? So well done, Juliana. Yeah? So you've just got to remember that you go back to that very first part of the warm-up where we twist. If you try and turn without twisting up, your hips will go, but you just won't go anywhere. So you've got to do the twist with the upper body to get the turn, and that will be same later on a 3 turn. Okay? So what we're going to have a quick go at now is we're going to have a go at some forward swizzles. So we're going to start off in our penguin stance. I'm going to bend my knees. So remember, that's really important on this one. Again, you can hold on to somebody, you bend, pull the toes in, bend, pull the toes in, bend. So what you're doing is you're starting here and you're pushing out and then pull your toes back together. So you need good knee bend, push out, and I'm pressing just very slightly on the inside of my wheels. You don't want to go too far. Like on the ice, you've got a good grip. If you go too far, you will find that your wheels might go from underneath you a bit. Okay, if you don't feel comfortable doing those moving yet, remember you can just have a go holding on, going forward and back. So again, lots of knee bend, inside and pull in, inside, pull in, and inside, and pull in. Okay, turn and step around. If you've not got room, and in, out, in, out, in. Okay. All right, well done. So, I can see Juliana's having a go at some backward ones. So the backward swizzles then are also on programme 2. Okay, so same knee bend, but you start with your toes together. So you're just going to feel that back wheel lift slightly, just very slightly. Arms in your V, just keep the top of your foot just slightly forward. You're going to push out in a V and then pull the heels back together. Just make sure that you keep looking over your shoulder. You might only be able to get a couple of those in if you're indoors. And you need to make sure, just keep having a little look, hold it over your shoulder, just so that you've got enough room, you don't want to crash. And again, if you've got somebody with you, even though they've got shoes on, they can hold and they can walk with you and help you do those backward swizzles. Okay, so here you go, out and in, push out and in and out. Okay. Fantastic. All right, so even though it's like really dull outside and raining where I am, you might still get a little bit hot, and if you want to get a drink, that's fine. If you want to sit out for a minute, that's absolutely fine, because as I say, most of us are used to skating in the ice rink. It's really cold and we're not used to like these sort of temperatures. So if you get a bit warm, that's fine, just sit out a minute and just get back up and carry on when you're ready. Okay, so what we're going to do this time then is we're going to have a go at the 2-foot glide on the circle. So this is one that we did last week as well. Again, we're linking things in together, so we've got your forward skip stroking or forward glide together. You're going to stand on 2 feet. What you're going to do, you're going to lean to the left if you're going around to the left, and you're going to bend and you're going to lean to the right. And eventually we will do this on one leg. So what we're going to do, skate forward, you just need a little bit of speed, bend and lean. And again, so I'm going to go to my right this time, so I'm going to bend and bring my arms round. So what I do is, if I'm going to my left, I'm going to bring my right arm round to help get me round the corner. I'm going to my right, I bring my left arm. Okay, so this is a good one if you want to turn around the corner without having to stop and do your T-stops, snow plows, and can get you around the corner. As I say, you probably have not got much room today, so I know some of you normally outside, so just make sure that give yourself enough room. If you've not got enough room to do that today, you can always just practice the skate forward and on 2 feet. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're going to do that on 1 foot in a minute, but we'll just practice the straight line 1 foot glide for now. Again, this is on program 3, and this is on one of the levels on there. I think it's on badge 6. So we're just going to have a go at that first before we do the 1 foot glide. So now in penguin stance, skating forward, feet together, bend your knees, get your balance, and then lift off. So if you just feel comfortable tucking your foot in at the side, that's fine. If you feel like you don't want to progress that far, remember you can hold on to somebody, or you can just practice holding onto a chair, holding onto the wall, and just practice holding 1 foot off and the other. All right, so if you want to do it tucking in, so glide forward on 2 feet, and you're just going to bring your foot up. So you don't want to lift it off the ground too much. So just a little bit. Okay, if you feel confident, you can have a go at extending the leg at the back, turned out. So again, you might feel like you need to try this holding on to something first of all. So you're going to keep it quite low. And what you do is bend your knees and do the glide, 2 foot glide. You turn the foot out and your heels are in line. Okay, but it doesn't have to come off the floor too far. And then just try it on the other foot, turning out and holding, and then you put your feet back together. So it's that turn out, a bit like we did earlier for the T-stop, and you just hold. So you don't have to lift it too high. Again, think about your room. So you might have to do this quite slowly. So I'm on 2 feet, and then I'm going to turn out and I'm going to glide. Okay, try the other foot and glide. Okay, and it's really easy to do this one straight into the T-stop. So if you glide, it's really easy then to go straight into the stop. Okay, try that again. So we'll glide and stop. Again, glide, one leg and stop. So you might only be able to do this for a short time, and that's fine. If you want to, if you do a couple of stronger pushes at the start, it's much easier, you can hold it longer. Again, that just depends on how much room you've got indoors. Okay, well done. So, again, if you want to sit out and have a rest, that's absolutely fine. If not, we can carry on. But as I say, all these exercises, remember you can always revert back to doing one of the other programs. So if we're doing forward stroking and we're gliding a lot more, you can still practice your penguin walking or your glide together. Everything can be adaptable, and if you need to hold on at any point, that's absolutely fine. As I say, it's a really good idea if you've got somebody with you and they can just walk along the side and hold your hand for that one. So yeah, so that was good. So we've practiced the 1 foot glide. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go back to the exercise we did before. Remember this one where we turn, we're going round on a curve. And what we're going to do, we're going to try it on one leg. So if you want to lift up just a little bit, that's fine. If you want to turn out, that's fine. Just remember, whether you're doing an inside or an outside on a circle, don't lean your wheels too far. You do have to lean slightly, but not as much. For those ice skaters, you don't need to lean quite as much as you would on the ice, because you'll find that those wheels will slip. Okay, so you do have to go over, not too far. Okay, so we're going to give that a go. You can tuck and stretch the free leg at the back. It's totally up to you. So skate forward. I'm going to go on 2 feet first. Rotate my body and then lift up. So if you can see the exercise that we warmed up with, so the twisting of the body, the exercise that we did on 2 feet, and then twisting and looking behind, it's the same thing. So if I'm coming down, I bend my knees, if I'm going to the left, I bring my right forward and I hold to go round the corner. Okay, I'll go the other way. So again, skating forward on 2 feet. So I'm going to go round to my right this time. So I bring my left arm in front. Okay, just to help get round that corner. Okay, so bringing the arm across just helps you get round a little bit better on wheels. I know on the ice sometimes, or I know if we're doing an outside with lead with the left arm in front, and you can still do that. Just find on these beginner levels, it just helps you lean into the circle a little bit more if you bend and you do this one first, the exercise we did earlier, and then try and take the free leg off, rather than trying to do it like we would on the ice. If we were doing outsides, we would normally do same arm as leg. Yeah, to start in front, inside we'd do the opposite. I just, as I say, but just for now as well, don't worry, even if you go on your left foot this way, and then you go on your right foot on the inside edge, it doesn't matter. You can have a go at either if you do the same leg on both ways for now. Okay, so remember again, this glide eventually, we could lead that into a 3 turn. So bend, twist, and hold. Okay, oh, disappears then. Okay, so that's again a really good one to practice, and that's going to lead into our next exercise. And remember, this is also on the level, so we're now going to move on. And again, you can practice all these somewhere safe. And again, make sure you've always got somebody with you when you're practicing. That's a really good one because that is going to lead into the next one, which is the crossover. So remember last week we did get onto consecutive crossovers, so one directly after the other. All right, but if you want to just do the one crossover and then onto 2 feet and glide, that's absolutely fine. Again, you can, before you do this, if you want to bend your knees and just practice crossing the foot over and back together, that's fine. So remember, as you cross this foot over the top, the one underneath tips on the outside of the wheel. So here goes on the outside and back together and bend. Just make sure when you do the one crossover that you just do the knee bend after. So you push off, cross, and bend onto 2 feet. So again, if you can see, I'm bending my knees. So if I'm going round the circle to the left, okay, or anti-clockwise, I'm going to bend and twist and lead with my right hand and shoulder, and my left one's going to be pulling back. So again, we've got that twist. Now, you don't have to look over your shoulder on this one because we're not going to turn to backwards, but you can look forward. So start with your feet in a T. You're going to push off, cross, together and bend. Okay, what I find as well on wheels is when I'm doing this crossover, I feel that the upper body has to be even stronger in this position. We do this on the ice anyway, but I just feel like on wheels you really have to feel that twist at your waist, and you push your left hip forward and your right arm if you're going anti-clockwise. So push here to here to here. Okay, so try that going the other way. So again, just practice your bend and your twist to start. Your feet in a T. So I'm really feeling like this right arm and shoulders really pulling back as far as I can. I'm going to look forward with my, over my left hand, and I'm going to push my right hip forward. It's right hip, left shoulder when you go this way. Okay? And everybody's got one way that you'll feel a little bit more comfortable. Okay, so try that again. So feet into your penguin stance or your T position, bend and twist. We're going to push, cross, together and bend. Okay, so you can carry on with that one. If you don't feel confident enough to do that one, remember you can just stand still and practice the cross. You can even sit in the chair and just get a feel for crossing over. I think I said this before, my rollers, skates are certainly heavier than my ice skates, and it does feel quite different when you put the foot over. So if you want to do consecutive crossovers, okay, again, it'll depend on how much room. You might only be able to do one anyway, okay? So you have to do quite a tight circle. So I'm leading, I'm going anti-clockwise again, and I'm leading with this right arm and shoulder, and really making sure, yeah, that it's pulling in front, okay? What you'll find as well is you will speed up quite quickly. If you feel that, what you can do is you can just do a longer glide, 2-foot glide in between before you do the push in the next one. You might not feel as well like you can do too much of an extend before you go into the next crossover. Okay? So here, and I'm really pulling this left shoulder back to get into this position. Okay? So there we go. So that's the forward crossovers. So we've done a breakdown of just crossing the foot over. We've done a breakdown of the edges and the rotating. Okay, so what we're going to have a go at now, this is a new one. So this one is on program 3 and it's on the last level, which is badge or level 10. So, and it's forward cross rolls. Okay, so I thought we'd have a go at these today. Again, okay, if you want to hold on to something, you can just practice, okay, pushing off. You're going to point your toe forward and feel like it comes across and put your weight on that, your wheel slightly on the outside, not too far, remember, and you can practice this. And the back foot, what you find is just slip off underneath, okay, so it comes across. So if you feel like you just want to have a go at this, just so you get that feeling, that's absolutely fine. Again, what you're going to feel is a little twist in the waist as you're doing these, okay? And again, with room, you might only be able to get 2 in. So I'm going to do a couple of pushes, and I'm going to do cross roll, twist at waist, cross roll, okay? So you might only be able to get 2 in, a couple of quick pushes, cross roll, okay? So when you're doing those, you will feel that twist again, okay? And so that's why it's important. Hold on to a chair, hold on to somebody's hands again. You could do this holding on to somebody, they walk backwards, you just need to, you know, make sure you've got enough space and you look behind. And if you don't feel confident, you can even sit in the chair and just, again, just get that feeling of trying to cross one foot over the other. Let's have another go at this. Okay, so I'm going to do 2 quick pushes. I'm going to twist at my waist, and twist at my waist. Okay, here we go again, twist. Okay, so that's it. Well done, Juliana. That's it. And again, I think most of us are just getting one and then the other in on there. It is quite hard to get those in. So we're having another little try at those. So I'm going to twist, twist. Okay, when you do this as well, you don't have to take your feet too far off the floor. Okay, so well done. So again, you can break that down if you don't feel confident, because that, as I say, that is on tier 3, program 3, and it is on level 10. So that's a big jump this week for that one. Okay, so one more go at that, and then we'll have a go at something else. Okay, so I'm going to push. Stop. Okay, brilliant. Well done. So you can see that Juliana's doing that really well. Okay, so sticking with badge 10, we'll just have a go at backwards glide and dip. So If you remember when we've done backwards, it's toes together, pushing out, bringing your feet in together. So this one, again, just be careful because you need the room, okay? So you're starting off with that basic backwards, bending your knees, pushing out. So it's like half a swizzle, come back in. Half a swizzle, come back in. I think just turn you backwards this way for now, especially with us being indoors and not having much space. It's a bit more controlled, and you can kind of keep looking behind you on the 2-foot glide. So what we're going to do when we do a couple of pushes, and you're going to do what we did before. So a couple of pushes, reach forward, chin and chest point forward, and you're going to dip. Again, just make sure that you've got enough room. You might have to start really close to the side on the forward bit, so when you come right in, that's it. So a couple of pushes, look behind me, reach forward, and I'm going to dip and hold. And again on this one, somebody could walk forwards with you, holding your hands, and hold your hands as you start to dip down. And the dip's exactly the same position as we did before. Okay, so we're at the end of the class. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I know I have again, I'm all hot. But as I say, a lot of you are doing absolutely fantastic. I've seen videos and I'm so proud of you. People that couldn't even stand up on their wheels, just standing up out of the chair, I've seen whizzing across. I've seen some people outdoors and just like forward skating and just unbelievable. So keep up with the good practice. Just make sure you stay safe, wear your safety equipment, especially outdoors. It's really important, especially if you're on slightly gritty surface. So well done everybody, and I shall see you next week, same time.